happened with Jalen?
Yeah, he came in. He wasn't feeling great when he came in, and so we put him through pregame warmups, and he wanted to go out there and go through pregame warmups, and he came back in. He still wasn't feeling good, and we evaluated him. We just decided that it wasn't in his best interest to play with what he was feeling, and we evaluated him. He's fine now. He's doing okay now, but that's why we held him out.
Send him home?
He actually went to the hospital to get evaluated for his stomach, and like I said, they came back. Everything's good, and he's going to be okay.
What kind of symptoms did he have?
He had pain in his abdomen, and which for a guy like that to tell us, he's a tough guy, and so it must have been hurting him pretty good for him to let us know about that.
Was the plan on offensive line just to start Isaac and Jordan with Jalen at quarterback?
Well, no. What we were gonna do, we were playing that all by ear, and that was kind of up in the air of what we wanted to do. We got some guys with a lot of experience on that offensive line, and so we talked to those guys on the right side there yesterday, and they were sore. They wanted to go, but we just thought, again, in the best interest of them. They played 2 games essentially this week, and we just felt like they got a lot of good work, and they didn't need to go this 3rd day in a row.
So he was examined at the hospital. Did he go home?
After he was examined at the hospital, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get that. I don't know, Sal.
Nick, I think it caught some of us by surprise because we saw him pre-game. He was dancing, he was spinning. It looked like he was feeling great. So you're saying he came into the building today before those pre-game warm-ups, wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, correct.
And then have you seen enough from him? I don't know what your plans are for the Jets game next week, but have you seen enough for him where you would be comfortable going into Atlanta, that regular season opener, without him playing in that final game?
Next week we have two practices against the Jets and 2 other practices. So again, we'll evaluate how he's feeling these next couple days. But we get 2 practices against the Jets to further. Like I've said before, those are like games. Those practices, those inter squad practices are like games. So he's going to be able to get 2 more there. So I'm pretty confident that we'll get a lot of good work against the Jets.
What did you think of Devontae Smith tonight, his debut and everything?
It looked like he was a little antsy at first, right? He dropped a couple balls, but he was a little late with his eyes on the deep ball that Joe threw him. But he made a couple plays there that was good to that's what happens with young wideouts. They gotta play, and they gotta go through the ups and downs a little bit. And the preseason's for that to happen. He ran a good route on that return route on a third down. Thought he ran a couple other good routes too. We'll look at the tape to see totally how he played. But I'm glad he got in there and was able to play a good, meaningful first half and take a couple hits and have to go against some of those tight coverage looks that he had to get.
What's the rationale behind playing Miles tonight after sitting him last week?
Yeah, we just thought we wanted to make sure that he got a couple carries in this preseason. Last week with how he felt last week and with how he felt this week, we felt like last week that was our decision as a team not to play him, and this week we were like, he needs to get a couple carries, and he did. He looked pretty good on those couple carries. So,
do you think Jalen would have? The hospital, I assume they ruled out anything serious. What did they leave you with? I mean, why are they telling you? What are they telling you now he's dealing with?
Just a stomach infection, stomach bug that was going on that was causing some pressure in his stomach.
You think he would have played if this was a regular season game, Nick?
I'm sorry, sir.
At the hospital, you're not sure if he went home.
He's not still at the hospital. I do know that, Sal. I just don't know if he came back to the stadium. I'm assuming he did, probably to get to car. I didn't see him after in the locker room. So yeah, that's about all the information I have on that.
If it was a regular season game, Nick.
I think that's hard to say. He really wanted to play. And we decided that just wasn't in the best interest of the team and of him. So I think that's a hypothetical. It's hard to say. He was fighting me and playing tonight. So I know he would have wanted to, but that's where you just got to lean on the doctors too and make a decision, and that's what we did.
Nick, just to clarify on the offensive line, so going into the game, after you said you decide this yesterday, it was going to be just the 2 starters.
I didn't say that. I just said we were still thinking through all that. We were thinking they were gonna probably play, and then with Jalen's thing, we decided to give them a rest as well.
So when Jalen, you knew
That's
he was gonna
right.
play, that's when you decided.
That's right. Yep, Jeff.
As for the series today, you came out second snap with 21 personnel and 3 to Kenny. You've said several times that the running backs are going to be a big part of this passing game. I mean, are we probably going to, once the regular season starts, see a lot more of that than you've shown in the preseason so far?
Yeah, again, one of our biggest advantages is that people don't know what we're going to do and exactly what we're going to do. So we look at all our personnel groupings of what we want to use. We definitely want to be 11, we want to be in 12, and we want to be in 21. I mean, the more in 13. The more things you can do, and more times you can run your base plays out of different personnel sets, the harder you are on a defense. But I think we have those personnel sets to be able to do. Most importantly, you don't want to do those things unless you have the guys able to do them. And I think all those personnels I just mentioned, we got players in those roles that we think we can use in those scenarios.
Like Gainwell and what he
I
showed
have.
as a pass catcher?
Yeah, I have actually. I have a lot.
Nick,
Could we do a couple more, please?
I recognize you're not playing your top guys and you're not showing much, but in the past 6 quarters, you've been outscored 52-0. How do you view that big picture?
Yeah, obviously you want to go out and you want to win every time you take the field. And just because we're not playing our starters or we're not showing some of our looks doesn't mean that's not an excuse. We got to execute better. We got to play with better fundamentals. We got to coach better, and we got to put them in better position to make plays.
Nick, since you've been here, you've kind of emphasized competition, and then we see the emphasis on the joint practices and maybe not as much on this game. How do you reconcile that?
Again, just that every time you step out there, it's not like just because of who we played or what we ran doesn't mean we're not competing. So every time we step on the field, we want to compete our tails off, and today's game was no exception.
What's your message to the team after this type of game?
It was that in the NFL, right? Like you look at our practice this week, we had a good day on Monday. Tuesday we competed pretty hard against the Patriots, and then today it wasn't good enough. And the message was, this is like a season, right? You can't. You got to stack practices on top of each other. You got to stack quarters on top of each other. You got to stack plays on top of each other. You got to stack games on top of each other. So it's not good enough to come out, play a good game one day, play okay, compete the next day and play a little bit better and okay, and then play bad the third day. I mean, that's just not going to work in this league. And it was a good example for our guys just to see, that's just not what we do. We got to come out and we've got to play every day and compete every day.